Hello and welcome to another game of Toonkind D&D featuring baby UFOs and old mad scientist birds because that's kind of the I think that's kind of the
It's a good summary.
yeah. I'm Inky and with me today is
It is me. It is the Modmad. I am being two people, both of whom have difficult accents. Please forgive me. I have been told that, while I've been, apologizing repeatedly, which I will continue to do for Wudlig's accent, I have been told by my Austrian friend that rather than being insulting because, I am trying, it's more like Dick Van Dyke's attempt at a British accent, and I'm like, okay, I can live with that. So if you go in with that expectation, then we're all chill, okay?
Yeah, I think that's how it work. That's how it'll work.
Okay.
Alrighty. Well, I'm gonna start us off with a little summary because it has been a little while since the previous UFO games, and for those who haven't listened to those games, Commencing Transmission and A Good Night's Quest in particular, I do recommend you do. Otherwise, things are going to be a little confusing. But for those coming in blind regardless, I'll provide a little heads up on what's going on, like the overall summary, basically. So here we have two little UFOs, M1A and Cody. They aren't from around here or Inkwell. They're UFOs, or sparks, as they say. They traveled all the way from the Great Machine, a massive mechanism in the stars. Probably more accurately, they fled for damaged Cody's safety. It's an unkind place that is unkind to sparks that cannot function. And after landing here in Inkwell and receiving help from some very kind Toons, the two UFOs have slowly managed to learn the ways of Toonkind and are in the process of unlearning a lot of what the Great Machine has taught them. And during this time, Wudlig Don Vrake has been kind enough to allow them to stay at his lab and teach them all they wish to know about the world they now live in. But things have gotten kind of complicated recently. Thanks to the far-reaching influence of the Great Machine and a battle involving explosions and scrapyards, M1A has now found themselves deprived of their usual UFO look. More accurately, they were blown up. But that wasn't the end of them. Turns out, beneath the ship, they appear to be a strange fireball creature. And nobody knew this, not even the Sparks knew this. They were never told. So M1A has been recently navigating having this new form for a little while now, and they've managed. They've had a lovely sleepover recently with their friends Tally and Rad, and while Bob had to put in a bit of effort fireproofing a very elaborate pillow fort, they've had a delightful time. Minus a mysterious happening involving a crashed spaceship, but we can unpack that later. M1A has been doing well, mostly. It's been fine. It's been fine. Not having fireproof hands, not being able to go upstairs easily, not being able to be in carpeted areas, not being able to go on the Dodo Studios chat, not being allowed in toy stores unless they are in a lantern or a reinforced hamster ball. It's fine. It's fine. So it's a lovely morning in Waddleton in the house and lab of Wudlig Don Vrake. Wudlig, what are you up to?
The good news is that being in the laboratory music place that is where Wudlig lives isn't too much of an issue because things kind of,
Things
the
already.
guy this guy is based off is just an expert on everything, not so much an inventor. This guy is an artificer. So he is constantly making his own shit explode and be on fire. So
Yeah.
actually, the lab is pretty well fireproof.
Oh, absolutely.
So M1A is okay in that environment as long as no touchy, the burning potential stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
The big barrel of gunpowder over there, maybe don't go over there.
Yeah. So it's
Anyway, Wudlig is okay. He seems in high spirits for some reason. He's
Oh.
humming a little tune to himself. It's almost as if it's the air of a parent who has a surprise gift prepared for somebody, but is playing the casual part just really badly.
Oh my god.
He's
Oh
not
my
good at
god.
keeping secrets, this guy.
Well, Wudlig, you you hear a little wish I had a marble here so I could make basically the sound of something rolling across the ground.
Got dice.
Something like that.
How's that?
Or like, hang on. Yeah, that I don't know if that picked up.
I've got two options. There you go.
Yeah.
More sound effects.
Foley. Then you hear then you feel like a small bump at the base of your foot.
I know who that is. I know who that is.
And Wudlig, if you look down, you see something spherical.
Spherical. Appears in my brain.
And you see, well, it's basically a hamster ball. It's like a reinforced glass hamster ball. And within it is a little fireball with wide yellow eyes, and these wide yellow eyes are they're a bit half-lidded. They're a bit droopy.
Aww. Naturally, Wudlig has been dusting the air,
Yeah.
He was pretending to dust something, and then his thoughts went ahead of him, and, like, the feather duster just kept going. But he stops dusting the air to put the feather duster down, and picks up the ball, and says, so, what are we feeling like today?
And M1A kind of, they look at you, Wudlig, and they say,
Wudlig Professor, I was hoping the other day to go up the stairs by myself, but that was not a possibility. And then the other day, I wanted to type on the Dodo Studios chat, but I could not do that because I have no fingers. That
very difficult.
And M1A just and then Wudlig, thankfully you don't really feel this. You do feel the glass warm a little bit between underneath your hands, but M1A suddenly does a small burst of flame from inside and says,
statement, this is not fine. This is not fine.
And Wudlig is about to sort of say something, and the door does the holy mom, the holy fuck mom,
holy
image
fuck.
of law. Yeah, mom, holy fuck, there we go. There's this sort of push, and you hear, has somebody not been evil-proofing the place? Okay, I've come here, I'm going to fix some shit. And it's like pulling something enormous through the door. Hello, this engineer. Engineer, if you have actually listened to any of the other games that this has surprisingly been relevant in a few times, he is about making sure that there are ramps in places, there are handrails in places, especially after one particular staircase. Anyway,
God, yeah.
He was already, but so there is something under a massive tarp and like one of those tiny squeaky wheeled little pull along trucks. Like, somehow being wrenched through the door, and Wudlig is like, I believe I don't actually know what is underneath that sheet. Absolutely, I have no idea what is underneath that sheet, but I think it might bear with being treated a little more carefully, my friend. Goes over to try and like help squeeze it through without destroying whatever the hell is on there. And Engineer's, it's fine. I made it to last, didn't I?
M1A is suddenly distracted from their temporary fury to like stare at the engineer suddenly appearing, but they've started getting used to this sudden entrance of his.
Yeah, this is normal.
This is normal.
Oh, good morning, engineer.
Good morning, my wee friend. Would you get your beak out of my business? What if you how to use a door handle for once in your life? I mean, I've known you since I was how old? I don't know. Anyway, is everything here? Yes, everything is there. I am not actually as incompetent as some people make me out to be. Thank you very much. Anyway, how are you, Maya? How are you?
And at this, M1A kind of they slowly droop again.
Oh,
there's
poor wee bairn.
there's a small like crackle of fire.
Hey, not so good, are you?
He's taken the ball from Wudlig, probably partly in this jostling effects, you know, pass the baseball.
Yeah. Go along.
And if I don't know how M1A is feeling about being handled like this. Is this insulting or?
M1A kind of, I feel like they look a little bit. They look slightly miffed, but they're kind of resigned more than anything. It's not they don't quite enjoy it, but like they're kind of like, oh well, this is kind of how it is.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I'm just going to say that Engineer probably picks up on that, partly because that's why he's here, and puts M1A or Maya down on a desk so that, you know, Maya has some ability to control where they're going. And Wudlig is fussing and checking under the top but not revealing it yet. Engineer's like,
I just happened to be around. I was working on a wee project, and I thought maybe it would be nice to stop in and see how you doing. How are we doing back there, Professor? It's fine. Yeah. You know, just little tweaks, but we'll have to do a fitting, won't we?
And that at this, M1A perks up.
Query, what do you have back there? May I investigate?
the two of them sort of like look at each other and then zip together, like make a tiny little wall in a sort of, you know, like two school kids trying to hide a school project that isn't quite ready yet. And they're like, maybe, but you have to keep in mind, this is like basically a first attempt, so do not go in with any great expectations. We've done what we could with what we had.
I would like to see.
Like M1A doesn't really pick up on the vibe. I don't think they pick up on the vibe that they're trying to be, like, make a surprise. They're like, I would like to see.
Well, at this point, it's already a surprise. And Engineer's like, yeah, we can't keep it from them any longer. Should we get your wee friend? I mean, it feels like it should be more of a communal event.
My wee friend. Oh!
And they call out,
Cody!
And then...
What are you saying, Cody?
Yeah.
My heart grows 3 sizes.
And you don't hear anything for a little bit, but you hear a rustle from the nearby lounge, and Cody has crawled out from beneath the pillow, blinking a bit sleepily. And they go, oh, hello. And they stretch out into their winged mode, and they head on over, and they look a little bit tired and a little bit worn down, but they definitely look happy to see you.
And Wudlig is sort of like, oh, so that is very I thought I could clean up with that. Anyway, thank you very much for your assistance in this little adventure. Shall we just get on with it? And Engineer is already, like, has grabbed hold of the top and is going to go. And you are probably the person who described what they see.
Oh, okay. So basically, beneath the tarp are, well, it's like a small collection of different little, what look to be ships. tiny little ships, but like they're all different shapes and sizes and colors. They're all little they're basically tiny little spaceships. They don't look anything like
Lots and lots of them.
they don't look like their regular ships, but they're such a cool variety and like designs and yeah. And M1A is like wide-eyed.
I mean, I feel like Wudlig and Engineer are kind of doing the ta-da!
Just doing this like the sparkle like
yeah. There's definitely a lens flare off one of them, like they're just kind of like, what do you think? Is it cool? What do you think?
so M1A actually rolls off the desk and you hear like a little and as they roll over to take a closer look. And M1A is like, Query, what are all these? What are they for?
Oh, they're for you.
And Cody is they're darting from ship to ship, and they're like, you built one? You built so many.
Well, you can't exactly build one. You've got to try everything. So we tried everything, yeah.
And M1A looks up at you both, and they say, you built these for me.
Well, we could see the problems that you were having, and the situations that you had were only ever meant to be temporary. I'm sorry if I never really emphasized that, but it took us a little time, and we wanted to at least get to a level where we knew it was safe for you to be trying these prototypes.
Prototypes. I see.
And M1A rolls around them once, inspecting each one, and they go,
Query, may I try one on?
Oh, absolutely. I'm not gonna stop. That's why I'm here. What do you think I tried to get it through the door so hard? I cannot wait to see all these. Is there any particular one that you like the look of? I mean, there's no particular order in which you can try them on.
M1A, they stare thoughtfully at each one, and I kind of want to roll a d6 just so like.
Oh yay! Yay! Pick a random spaceship.
Pick a random spaceship.
I cannot wait for y'all to see the art for this. Inky kind of went crazy. It's amazing.
5. This is I really like this one actually. Hang on. I'll put it in the. Should I put the player discussion or resources or? I'll put it up somewhere.
It doesn't really matter.
Yeah, I'll put it up here.
You can probably put it in the gallery. I mean, there's only.
Oh wait, yeah.
There's only 3 of us here.
Yeah. So I've put it in the discussion channel.
Yeah. There it is. Yeah, this one.
And it's a little tiny. It's not too unlike what M1A originally had. It's a flying saucer ship.
Looking at this, I can hear the noise from the Kirby game.
Yeah. But it looks like it has little headphones on the side, and there's like 4 orbs beneath it that kind of they're deactivated now, but they light up with M1A's presence. And notably, M1A's flames dim a little bit.
In fact, seeing this, I think Wudlig and Engineer sort of go, yeah, it worked. Like, there's a little sort of response of,
Yeah.
oh shit, it's actually working.
And M1A kind of, at first they don't really move it, they just kind of see how they feel inside it. And then they try and focus on on like using it. They kind of focus and they squint their eyes, and the orbs below spin and they hover like maybe an inch, and then they plonk back down. And they look and they blink a little bit.
Oh, they still get a round of applause because, Engineer and Wudlig are ecstatic that anything worked at this point.
Yeah.
They were like basically like, okay, we know it's not gonna explode if the baby gets in the box.
Yeah.
But we still don't really know how well this is gonna work.
Yeah.
So they're like, oh, fantastic, wonderful. Oh, look at you, you're so cute. I mean, your old head's very cute. You're not this old lady. Like, yeah, Wudlig is just gushing. It's like, my baby got new clothes. Look at it. Ah.
And when it kind of narrows their eyes a little bit at being called cute, but like...
Engineer sort of says, lean into it. Being cute is extremely powerful, actually.
I'm not cute. I am fierce.
It can be both. I'm both.
And when he raises the brow. But Cody is kind of gushing a little bit at the sight of M1A in a new ship. They're like,
Oh, I've never seen you in another ship. You're not in a Sentry model. You're in a... I do not know what model this is. This is a Toon model.
That is actually a very good way of describing it. Toon mode. I like that. I like that a lot.
and M1A is
Like, yes, a Toon model.
and then they kind of frown a little bit and they say,
It is not the same. It is heavy to lift off.
Wudlig is immediately taking notes, like, I should do the game properly. I'm going to roll D10 to get out. Sort of oversized notepad, like, that shouldn't have been able to fit in that pocket sort of thing, because it's sort of boom as it comes out.
Yeah.
But immediately making ticks and notes, and there seems to be a lot of things for them to check, and weight is certainly one of them that they were not sure about.
Yeah. But yeah, it's... You notice that while M1A tries to lift up again, their flames are still kind of there, but they flicker and they don't quite go back to, like, the way Cody is right now. And,
Engineer is actually taking a very close look. Like, he's not taking notes, he's just, like, observing very much. He sort of flaps a hand and is like, don't tread too hard, we don't want to exhaust you, especially not on the first model, but do you feel comfortable? Aside from it being a wee bit too heavy, we can work on that, no problem. You're not in pain in any way at all.
M1A kind of, they plop back down, because, they don't want to run out of energy so quickly. And they go,
It does not hurt. It feels a little... It feels like my arms are asleep.
Okay, that's an interesting side effect. Well, this model doesn't particularly go for the arms. Wait, we should try a couple more of these. I mean, we've got quite a mountain. I did quite a lot there. So don't get too bogged down with this particular one. I mean, I like the color job of this one. Actually, that's a whole thing. Like, what color you want it to be, we can change that at any point. No problem.
M1A kind of brightens a little bit at that. They go,
This one is purple. Like me? Like I am now.
they seem to...
I thought that maybe you would like it that way.
They seem a little, like, it's like, they seem a little introspective at this. They're not used to being anything but void colored.
Oh, my feelings. Sticky! Stop! Ah! Only half an hour in!
But yeah, they shoot back out of the ship, and they're in fireball mode. That's a cool thing about this ship that they notice. They tap at the helmet and they go, "Observation. These helmets open."
I thought that would be useful, to say the least. It's not nice not being able to change yourself on your own power, you know? That doesn't seem right off to me. Yeah, so we had quite a lot of discussion about that, but that's probably something for another time, ethically speaking. So, yes, all of these you can get into and out of without anybody else interfering.
Cody approaches at that, and they kind of tentatively open and close the helmet of M1A's prior ship as M1A decides to go for another one. I'm gonna roll D6 again. And
Yes,
and
that's a 6.
That's a 6. M1A, they look at one, and they can't quite work out what it is, but they're really curious about the shape. And they go and they're like, "All right, I am trying this one," and they swoop in, and they pop in. The machine activates a little bit, and then is there a mirror nearby?
Oh, sure, yeah. There's,
Yeah.
I mean, there's reflective surfaces
Yeah.
everywhere. There's loads of metal in here.
They look over at the mirror, and they go, "Oh, I know what this is."
I told you they would try that one next. I told you they would like that one. It feels sure, but I mean, I went halfway between Austrian and Scottish. This is gonna happen repeatedly. I am sorry. They're both trill R's, but in different places. And it's
Yeah.
like, oh god. Anyway, Wudlig is kind of doing the hand to cheek slow drag sort of thing. Engineer is just like, oh, you look so cute. What do you think? Do you like it? Do you like this one?
And when they look a little like not put out or insulted, just kind of like like
Okay, but hear me out. Just try this. And Engineer gets like a bundle of something off this the little wagon, and it looks like a rolled up sleeping bag at first. And he shakes it, and it goes out like a long ribbon, and it's actually a length of little rails, and it goes a surprising long way because tunes. And he just like is like just sit yourself down on that and see how fast you can go. It's alright, there's a mat at the end. There's like a mattress. I set it up ahead of time. Sorry, but like I didn't tell you. Did what?
and when
It's my bed! What are you doing with my bed?
he did it before he even like kicked the door open.
Yeah. He just snuck in the back to nail the mattress to the wall.
Cody, very supportive Cody, is looking at you, is looking at M1A and going, "It looks really nice. It looks really nice." And M1A is just and gently picks up the still not so amused M1A and plonks them down on the tracks. And
Are they gonna go? Are they gonna go?
They kind of just like, there's a little puff of smoke that comes up the little oh shoot, what's it called? The smokestack?
Yeah.
And the chimney. And they just kind of like amble forward on the tracks. Like they don't really put much speed into it for a little bit.
Oh, it's still cute. Engineer looks a little disappointed, but he's like, well, we can work on that.
And Cody's, well, if you want, you can try and convince M1A to go a little faster.
Okay, yeah. Let's roll persuasion. I don't got much in that. I've got a +1 in persuasion.
Oh no.
Fuck. Yeah, I know. I mean, remember, this guy started out as a barbarian. The
Yeah.
stats. Oh my god. Anyway, let's see.
Oh, that's the wrong chat.
I typed that in the wrong channel. My bad. Sorry. I was so obsessed with looking at the train. 13. Yeah, that fits.
13. M1A, what do you say?
I mean, just like imagine being so fast that the landscape turns into a blur. Can you imagine that? Also, if you press down and like it's sort to the right, it's hard to explain because you kind of stare. But it's like there's a little thing and it makes noise. You'll like the noise.
I just heard that. M1A, they're startled by the noise, but then they press it again.
If you heard that beep beep, that was actually a car outside. It was not me.
Are you serious?
I am not kidding. Like there's like roadworks outside, so cars keep having to
Oh
stop.
my God.
That was someone beeping their horn at the lights, so that was amazingly well timed.
That's amazing.
In fact, the noise I was expecting it to make is actually a train whistle
Yeah,
noise.
yeah.
So
Beep,
it goes
beep.
choo-choo.
And M1A does speed up a little bit, but you get the feeling they're more interested in just pushing the choo-choo, like the choo-choo whistle more than actually speeding up.
Honestly, NG is still happy about that because obviously everything is about the choo-choo whistle noise.
Yeah. Yeah, no, they make it to the end of the track and into the mattress with a soft thunk.
Oh. Well, thank you for sparing my mattress, even though some people did not.
And you hear a muffled,
Query, how do I reverse?
Oh, that's what I forgot. Okay, maybe just leave it there and come back as you are. It's fine. It was always a sort of, I'll admit, that one was a little bit of a self-indulgent incantation. You think so? Is that really what it was? That's the engineer? Okay, yeah, well, so surprised. Very good.
M1A just kind of ejects themselves from it. And they zip back over to the other ones, and they're like,
That was
they kind of admit,
observation. That was fun, but it did not fly.
It was not particularly easy to get the jits to work on that one. I mean, I can still do it, but I was waiting for feedback on some of the other models before I started integrating them into that, which was more designed for land speed.
and you M1A nods, and you do notice that they didn't seem to have a lot of trouble with the land speed part, at least.
Yeah. So acceleration does work in that. We can still use that mechanism. I'm telling you, Wudlig, it was worth doing.
Wudlig is just like,
You can pick whichever one you like next, even if it is another one like that one. It's fine.
And M1A is gonna try one other one. D6. No.
yeah, you might want to change it to a D4 at this point.
Yeah. D4. It's a 4.
Oh.
Oh, which one is this one? Oh, okay.
You drew so many. I'm like so in love with all of these.
Well, I'm gonna do this one because I quit. Oh, I put it in the wrong channel, but
Alright, it's fine. I can still see it. Oh, it's so cool.
Oh, look at that!
yeah,
I love them so much.
it's a little and M1A actually, you hear a little whenever they allow it to hover just a little bit. And they blink and they go,
So,
oh, this one is quite light. But
I tried to reduce the weight of the carriage by using this thing. I don't know what to call it. It's made of like fibers of glass. It's a new thing. I'm still working on it.
M1A is kind of tilting a little bit to the side and then the other side, and you suspect that they feel a little bit off balance with it, but they're also like, they seem more engrossed in this one than they have the others.
So you like the feel of this one? I can see you having a wee bit of trouble with the stability, but you look like you're happier in that.
This one feels a little bit more like the sentry ship.
And then they start floating upside down and they go,
Oh.
this feels less like the sentry ship.
Ballast, yes. Let me just,
Engineer just lightly taps one side of it so that it spins the right way up and sort of settles slightly unsteadily. But yes, Wudlig is making notes about ballast and perhaps a sort of a better gyroscope system in it, because it does have one. But like, this is a new material basically that he's kind of just made up.
Yeah. Excellent. M1A looks over at Cody and they say,
Oh, what do you think?
And Cody kind of approaches, and as they do this, they look around, they tap the helmet, they look underneath, and they're doing this all in their winged mode. So like they're they kind of go. And as they're doing this, like their wings are twitching a little bit expressively. Their arms are moving around to kind of like tweak at the rudder and stuff like that. And then they go and face M1A face to face, and they say,
You look tired.
and M1A kind of slumps a little downward, and they go,
I feel tired.
Oh, yeah, that was what I was worried about. How about we take a break, actually? Let's just settle down here. You can get back in your ball if you want to, or just hang around as your usual self. That is fine. We should probably talk about the powering mechanism to help explain that, yeah.
M1A nods, and they settle down to the ground, and they pop on out, and they stay in their fireball mode this time. They don't go back into their ball. But yeah, their flames are a little bit dim initially, and then they blink a little bit, and they seem to perk up while they're out of there.
Feeling better, Ari?
Yes. Observation. That felt similar to my ship, except I would not feel so tired.
Yeah, well, we need to work on that is for sure.
And Cody's thinking to themselves, and they kind of tap on their own arms a little bit.
My own ship never makes me feel tired. Why is that?
Yes, well, that's a teething problem, and we were a bit worried about that. The thing is, we were working with what we've got, and what we've got is not exactly space technology. We backwards created as much as possible, like tried to understand by taking apart the other spaceship that we had the parts of, but in the end we basically had to use things that we are in ourselves familiar with, and well, you're you're very unusual. You're amazing.
Yeah, but like goes a little bit like hands flappy, like, oh my gosh, you are impossible. It's amazing. It's so exciting.
But not to get too excited about it, you seem yourself to be a source of power, which is fantastic. It's an extraordinary thing. You emit light and heat by yourself. It's astounding. Yes, well, the thing is that parcels like that, sometimes you can exhaust it or you're knowing exactly how it's working. So we're still trying to figure that out. You can parrot these for an amount of time, but it may actually drain you. So we're absolutely going to improve this. This is a prototype, but at the moment... Actually, I've got a better idea. Do you know anything about me? I'm not particularly... great at talking about it. It's fairly recent I have started talking about it, but my heritage is mixed. I am part of a fire spirit, which is a wee burny, spirity animal thing. It's a weird thing, and half of me is not that. So when I use my magic, I'm sort of clocking into the fire spirit part, but if I do it for too long, and while he's been talking about this, he's actually been using magic with his right hand. And nobody's seen this before because he's basically cut it off before people can see it. But anyone who's seen engineer magic before knows that the relevant part of him turns black. So the palm of his hand or the whole of his hand. At the moment, he's just channeling his magic into his right forearm, and he does it as much as he can.
Yeah.
As long as possible. And eventually, it ends up looking like this. And it actually makes... You can actually smell a sort of charring smell, and at this point he stops, and it's sort of making a crackling noise as well. And he doesn't look like he's in pain, but there is a sort of wince about him. It's like, so I'm not entirely made to do this. I've been trying to learn how to use my magic better, but I have had to come to this conclusion that I have a limit, and this is the limit. So another part of using these is going to be learning when you've hit your limit and you have to stop and have a rest. It happens to the best of us.
Our limits.
And M1A approaches you, engineer, and kind of looks at the charredness on your arm.
Am I part fire spirit? Or am I all fire spirit?
That is what we are actually trying to find out. We are not absolutely sure about this, but my best guess is that you are... Am I allowed to make this guess out loud?
Oh, you're allowed.
Well, but like, it's sort of like... Well, I think you are stars.
What?
Stars, you know, like twinkle, twinkle, little star. The things in the sky, the big burning balls of gas billions of miles away.
But...
And M1A and Cody kind of look at each other like...
Star...
And at first M1A says,
But the Great Machine always said...
and Cody actually, this is interesting. Cody actually, their eye narrows a little bit, and they go,
The Great Machine has said a lot of things.
And M1A kind of blinks at that, and they nod and they say,
The Great Machine has said a lot of things. Not all of which ended up being true. But they never once told us that we could be stars. We were supposed to, well, no, my main function was to observe and be sentry so that we would warn of approaching stars. But if we are stars, then...
Oh, look at each other!
But if we are stars, were we supposed to guard against ourselves?
Well, there is nothing more intimidating to power than power.
There is nothing more intimidating to power than power?
Nothing more intimidating. Sorry, that was me fudging my words.
No.
I think that maybe you are a lot more than you are led to believe that you are.
M1A kind of, they mumble a bit to themselves.
Mere sparks are we.
Aye, nothing mere about you, I can tell you that.
And M1A kind of looks up at you, engineer, and their eyes squint a little bit, and they say,
Observation. We are very small.
and
Aye, yes, that's true. Wudlig is sort of chuckling into his hand at this. Wudlig is only like a head taller.
but at this, Cody kind of, they're looking down at themselves, like at their hands and the back of their hands and their ship. And they go,
You are trying to make a new ship for M1A. But you're missing some information, yes? Is that...
Yeah, but I would actually caveat that by saying we are making spaceships, which may be used for people like M1A, if anybody else who is of a similar disposition would like one. That is absolutely something that can happen.
Cody kind of, they look at you for a moment, and then, is there a kitchen nearby?
Oh, yeah. No, listen, this guy's house is all the things.
Okay.
It's like everything is all over the place. There's a toothbrush over there on something which looks like, a radio emitting device.
Well, awesome. Cody, they bow a little bit and they say, "Please excuse me," and then they zoom off into the kitchen.
Is this a good part to beg for a 5-minute break?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
A to be continued moment.
To be continued.
Because I gotta be real with you, I had a lot of coffee in order to get myself to wake up, and the result of that.
All good.
I'll be right back.
Yeah, all good.
Thank you. This is so cute. I love it, and I love all the ships. Please tell me if I'm like taking liberties, because I am also
please,
kind of like.
Please continue to take liberties. Yeah. Is that?
Well, I'm trying to play two people who are smarter than me, and I am not.
Yeah. No.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, I'll be back in like 3 minutes.
No,
Thank
all
you.
good.
Oh,
Hi. Thank you. Sorry, that's great. Also, I just managed to eat a biscuit, so I have more brain sugar. Yeah.
Yeah. You don't have to pause recording. I can edit it if need be.
Oh.
but yeah.
All right.
Oh, okay. Cool and groovy.
Okay.
Thank you, everybody.
Are you ready?
We are back after the break.
Back after the break, and it was a very, very intense moment where Cody left to go to the kitchen.
Exciting.
And Cody returns from the kitchen after.
Has he got a sandwich?
No, actually, Cody is in possession of well, it's a spoon, and it's comically
Even more exciting.
It's comically large compared to the rest of them. I think like one spoon is like probably the length of their arm.
Oh, that's so cute. Also, sorry I misgendered them. That was bad.
No, don't worry. They're not really fussed on gender. These particular characters aren't. Yeah.
Even so, I
Even
should
so,
be.
yeah.
So, anyway, apologies.
Yeah, no, it's all good. But yeah, and they look at you, Wudlig, and they quickly go step back into their saucer mode, with one arm still detached, and they start tapping the top of their helmet with like the bottom of the spoon.
Okay. There is a sort of like a ... But, you know, Wudlig and Engineer don't want to be like telling Cody what their business is because they know better than they do. So they're just going to watch them hit themselves with a spoon, I guess.
Actually, roll. I guess what's the roll insight.
Insight, okay.
Either insight or intelligence.
That's good.
Yeah. Well, insight or
Okay,
investigation, I guess.
Okay, well, in fact, if you're doing either, then both of them have a +5, though in different things. So
Okay, cool.
I'll roll for Wudlig. Wudlig has a 5 in intelligence because he's a Brady. But oh god, yeah, okay, he's on it. Engineer has a +5 in insight. 18, not bad.
Okay, Wudlig. You've kind of seen this kind of motion before. It's when someone is cracking a hard-boiled egg from the very top.
Oh my god. Okay.
Engineer, you get the feeling that, from your insight, you get the feeling that Cody wants out.
Oh my god. Both of them are just like... It's like there's almost like a physical, visceral reaction of sort of like
They're like, this worked better with a breakfast.
Yes, I'm sure it would.
you know, and is like on the verge of crying, has no eyes, but trust me.
And Wudlig is like, well, actually, I was meaning to ask, because the engineer has been,
I will say, quite evasive on how everybody actually got out of the spaceship. Is this some sort of an in-joke? I would like to know at this point.
M1A kind of just cheerfully says, "Oh, I blew up."
you blew up?
Oh, yes, I had a small gap in my helmet, and, some fire got in, and, I proceeded to detonate very strongly.
So, like what we did, but much, much bigger. Did you blow up my baby?
And then they're just kind of like edging very slowly.
Away along the wall is like, actually, I think I've got something I need to do in the kitchen, excuse me.
He's gonna try and run away.
Oh, okay.
The professor is gonna make a dex to try and grab hold of him. He has a plus nothing. 7. No,
7.
absolutely not.
No,
Wudlig eats shit. Like, just like tries to grab him and hits the floor. The engineer is like, basically dust clouding around the place while this angry duck is chasing him for a hot sec.
Meanwhile, Cody is still trying to tap. And M1A approaches Cody in slight confusion. They say,
Cody, you are not an egg.
And Cody says,
We resemble an egg. Yes, but we are... Well, we are stars, apparently.
Yeah, about that. Actually, I should actually ask.
At this point, somehow Wudlig has got the engineer into a headlock, which is in itself very funny because Wudlig is a noodly scientist duck.
Yeah.
The engineer is built like a tank.
Yeah.
So there is certainly some part of him letting this happen because he did blow up the baby.
It was good. It was for a
it
good
was
cause.
for a good
Okay?
cause. It was a good reason.
It seemed like the best idea at the time, and it did actually turn out to be that in this case.
Yeah.
Wudlig is like, anyway, so what is your understanding of what a star is? Because we should start from there.
Well, a star is a giant, enormous life form made of flames. It has an inner core. It has a gravitational pull, and some are very, very hungry. And it is the hungry stars we need to look out for.
That is a very interesting way of putting it.
He drops the engineer unceremoniously on the floor.
And she's, alright, I deserve that, fine. But, do you know about the other kinds of stars? We have many, many kinds of stars here in Toonkind.
Other stars?
Oh boy, here we go.
And Wudlig has summoned one of his, the endless supply of wheel on the screen blackboards that any cartoon professor has. Squeaker, squeaker, squeaker. And he's got the engineer's just lying there with his chin propped up with a hand like, here we go.
And they're inexplicably on with student desks and everything.
Well, okay, just to very quickly summarize, otherwise we will be here for a very long time. There are superstars, rock stars, movie stars, rising stars, falling stars, shooting stars, dwarf stars, giant stars, supergiant dog stars, and even happy card stars, binary and non-binary stars, gold stars and old stars, count your lucky stars, seven classifications of all stars are OB are blue stars, F are blue and white stars, G are white and yellow stars, K are orange red stars, M are red and must be said are very often dead stars, hitch your back into a star so long as you're on stars, track or else you may be seeing the stars, smitten written in the stars, star crossovers, stars align, if you're starry and that's fine, for it's a fact though it's not mine, the wishing star is a goddess more or less of reaching for the stars, and if she please has strong grace, she may arrange to make a place among the stars, and more than this, if I could wish upon a star, then it might be that she will bless my stars. Did you follow that?
Okay, Mod.
Yeah.
Mod, I had to cover my face for that, my mouth, to prevent myself from yelling aloud because that was so
God damn!
good.
I'm sorry, I fudged so many of
No,
those lyrics
that
now
was
just
so
had to
good.
keep going.
That was so good. Oh my god.
We just have some water. I actually in character
Yeah,
would
please,
just
please.
grab some water off screen. It's like.
So you can see there's quite a number of different kind of stars in this place. But the main thing to know about all the stars is that they are compelling forces. They are very powerful.
M1A usually falls asleep during these things, but they're wide-eyed, and their little student desk has caught fire, but that's okay.
Engineer has just got a fire extinguisher from nowhere. It's like.
Yeah.
So, there are more stars than the big hungry ones, the powerful hungry ones that we were told about?
Hey, there's tons of them. I mean, in sort of a way, I could be considered a star. We are not here to talk about you and being a star. But I guess, yeah, when someone has great charisma, we've called them a star. If someone has some quality about themselves that is extraordinary, we call them a star. And I would say both of these things about you. The thing is, stars have, as it were, a way of drawing things to themselves, whether that is a literal, enormous gas giant star that has a vast gravitational pull, which pulls all the planets into rotation around them, or sometimes collapsing the star in on itself and causing a black hole eventually. Those are potentially destructive, but also, if we did not have this star, and he opens up a blind, and there is the sun outside, and it is shining, and the day is a nice, pleasantly warm day, there's a breeze, there's birds singing, you know, it's a classic la 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 day. You know, the trees are swaying, the birds are singing, it's fine, that's normal, Yeah. Without this warmth, without this light, our world would be cold and dead and desolate. It is something that can create as well as destroy.
So Cody's up near the window now, and they say, "Oh, we were this close to a star this whole time?"
Well, what did you think it was?
I do not know.
Nemone says,
I thought it was a giant light bulb.
Actually, that's not too far off. I mean, you know, but it's like, I suppose. I mean, the earliest people did not know about it was either, and in fact, Toonkind have had a slight advantage. There are people that we know from space. DJ Moves is one of them, and has flown past this, what we call the sun, which is a star. It is a yellow star.
and
Which you will remember from my song is a class G in these 7 classifications, but I did say that very fast, so I understand if you missed that.
Sorry, getting my thoughts together.
It's cool. It's absolutely cool. I'm still recovering my breath. Please carry on.
Cody kind of repeats to himself,
We were next to a star this whole time.
and then they look at M1A and they say,
And you were a star this whole time. I was a star this whole time. Yes.
and Cody, they look at the spoon that they were holding and they go,
I require... Oh.
and they take a breath and they go,
I require assistance.
You would like to get out of your shell? Are you absolutely sure?
Yes, I thought about it, and what if my shell can help with making M1A's shell?
Well, if you are absolutely sure, and again, if you would like a new shell, or at the very least an updated shell, because now I understand that MLD's shell is not available because it blew up. Thank you for telling me that sooner, Mr. Engineer. I will hold this over you for the rest of your life. And the engineer is like, yeah, okay. Yeah, okay.
It was necessary. In any case,
and Cody nods and they say,
I would like, if this assists M1A in creating their new shell, then it would be helpful, and also if it helps M1A, it would be good. Yes.
Well, if that is your final decision, We will figure out a way of getting you out of there very safely. What exactly happened? Was it?
And like, at this point, I think we actually have to have like a total recap of what exactly happened to cause M1A to explode. Because they did the whole zapping with a finger to bring Cody back. So they did understand the principle that there's a gas-based explosion that brought Cody back to better health. But with M1A, everything happened very quickly, and it was kind of like, okay, that was a bigger explosion.
Yeah, it was a much bigger explosion. They do get into they illustrate the necessity to do so in the fact that M1A was not quite themselves at the time. They were their ship was being used to. Well, they were being used to be seen through by the massive machination known as the Great Machine. And they needed to...
Yes, the words manipulation and possession spring to mind.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. And and the engineer had the idea to perhaps release, if they could be released from control via their ship by getting rid of it.
Yeah, I mean, he summarizes in the end of,
well, it seemed to me that what was controlling M1A, or at least depriving M1A of their own control, was the ship. So it made sense to blow up the ship, if that is not too much of a disastrous thing to have suggested. But it seems to have worked out all right. Put down the screwdriver. Okay, we can talk about this. Let's be civil.
The screwdriver is lowered.
Well, yes.
So in this case, we don't actually have to explode you. We could probably try and get you with slightly less dramatic results.
Of course. You just need to find a way to remove the helmet.
Yeah, how are we gonna do that? I have hit a point where I'm like, I don't know how to do that.
Cody continues to tap their helmet with the back of the spoon.
Should I do some dice rolling? Should I do a big think for Wudlig?
I say, and what I say, Cody actually goes up to the engineer and they hold out the spoon for him and they say, could you help?
Are you sure? I mean, I feel like that would be a wee bit... I don't want to hit you on the head.
You will not. I know that you will not.
Alright, but I'm gonna do it my way.
So what he does is he's actually going to hold the glass dome and try and crack it with his hands, because that seems like more naturally engineerish to do. Also, like, splatting him with a spoon, the spoon's gonna break for one, but also if the spoon or sword or whatever goes through, he doesn't want to hurt the baby. So
Cody, they shut their eyes and they're ready. They brace themselves.
Okay. Question: what am I doing here? Am I rolling to hit or am I just rolling damage?
Roll. I say make a dexterity roll.
Dexterity, really? Okay, interesting.
You are,
all right, just like
you are measuring. You are measuring your strength a bit. You are kind of reeling it in a bit.
Gosh. Okay, so like just straight dexterity, not strength.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. Just looking it up. Okay, so that's actually only a 3, which is not terrible, but that's what I mean.
15.
15.
He's being very cautious.
Yeah. I say that does it. That just does it. You kind of so you're doing this by claws, right?
Yeah.
You scrape a little bit. Cody's eye shuts a bit tighter because that doesn't feel good. But the glass cracks and splits, not evenly, but cleanly enough. And a few shards drop to the ground. And you remove the helmet, and then suddenly all of Cody's ship components go clattering to the ground.
I would that would be that figures.
And Cody himself blinks, and the Cody, as in like the two dark orbs that are Cody, just kind of go. They flop. They start hovering precariously, and they look like they're about to fall.
Okay. Engineer is catching.
Yeah.
He's catching,
Yeah,
definitely.
yeah.
It's just, like, forget the glass thing. Also, there's also a secondary clang as the spaceship hits the floor, because Wudlig has dropped the frying pan that he was about to hit Engineer over the head with if it had gone badly. And is also likewise going to try and help catch the baby.
Yeah. Baby is caught. There's a small kind of flicker of flame that appears over Cody, and it kind of billows a little bit, and then all of Cody begins to catch, and their void body kind of begins to gain some color, and they blink in surprise. Until they get brighter and brighter, and they look like this.
This is why Wudlig habitually wears leather gloves all the time. So yes, good. Neither one of them has got, but Engineer's just like, twisty fun.
Yeah. And they look like this.
So cool. Sorry, I'm just like in love with that. Oh, that's so cool. Oh, I'm just gonna be looking at this for like 10 hours. Sorry. You want me to talk in character? That's what I'm doing. Like, both of them are like, wow. They were both like, wow at M1A, but this is so cool. Also, I will be honest, Engineer is thrilled because like the inside of his mouth is exactly that sort of cyan color.
That
so
wasn't,
he's like, oh my god!
Me, the artist speaking, that wasn't intentional, but because like orange and cyan or turquoise go really well together.
It looks good.
But the fact that they look at themselves. They go, Is this what I look like?
I mean, you look fantastic, I'll say that.
And M1A is hovering nearby, and they are...
Cody, you are a star. I was,
and they kind of chuckle a little bit.
I was a star all along. You were a star all along.
Like, I could have said you were both stars from the beginning, but quite literally, you are both stars. This is very much confirmed. And he's like doing a whole series of ticks on this big piece of paper. He's like, smug scientist moment.
Yeah. And M1A looks like their eyes are shining, like oh my, their arms are flapping a little bit, like they dart around Cody, like,
Look, observation. You are a different color than me, but we are both bright. But your flames are different. Look.
and they kind of like play around with the swirly flames a little bit.
Yours are like this, and mine are like this, and you're this color, and I'm this color, and
they're like,
but it is still you. It is still very you, Cody.
And Cody's just kind of, they've gone a little bit quiet, and they're kind of like twiddling their thumbs a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, engineer is kind of biting on his thumb, and he's not gonna like put it down on this moment, but he's very much thinking about the suppression of individual nature being a tool of systems.
Yeah.
Like the idea of everyone has to be the same or one of a certain particular kind of mechanism is like in the system is just like. Ooh, he's mad about it. Like, if you look very closely, he's like, he's warmer than he was. Yeah. But he's also just really happy because, like, god damn, look at how cool that is. That is so cool. That's very cool.
M1A kind of, they look at Cody and then they quickly, they go in for what looks like a hug, but then they pull back a little bit. Query, may I, and then Cody just hugs M1A.
Yes, for all the threats of frying pans and screwdrivers and engineer running away, quite rightfully, there's a sort of, they hold each other's hands because they've been like besties forever, and this is like, the babies are hugging.
And Cody they look so like their eyes closed, and they just like their expression looks very, very warm, but like it occurs to you, engineer, that you have never seen these guys hug before.
Oh, that's a whole level of heartbreak in itself, just that sentence.
Yeah. And, their flames seem to blend a little bit. Their outer flames blend. It's this nice kind of pale, like sea green, like bright limeish sea green kind of color because of the yellow and the turquoise.
Love that.
And then they pull away.
Well, I can say that was a great success. You look fantastic. Yes, this is great progress.
And Cody nods, and they go, "It is. I think it is." And they suddenly go, and then they kind of notice, and then they kind of tip upside down and float upwards. Oh no. And M&A reaches up and tugs them back down.
Well, we are going to have to get used to some things. Speaking of which, if we use your old... I don't even want to call it a ship, that's too complimentary. Your carapace. How about we have another go at these prototypes and come back another day with them? Or do you want to try on the last few, see if you like those, and use that as a basis for us to use this technology and improve that technology?
I think what Cody kind of thinks about... Cody thinks a little bit, and they say, I think I would like to try just this. I would like to try just this. And they kind of twirl around a little bit. And
I mean, that's quite a new thing for you to be getting used to, but all by itself. Yes, I can see that.
And M1A goes,
Yes. Yeah, we can get used to this for a little bit. But we do need ships soon.
And Cody agrees. Like they nod.
Yes, we will be working on that. Don't you worry.
And they're still Cody's still upside down, and they chuckle a little bit.
Yeah. Ooh, this is very exciting. I'm also trying to register like how long you want to keep going because I know it's much later for you than it is.
It'll be fine. I do want a small break, but we can maybe jump forward to a later time in terms of like
A different day. Yeah.
But I do want it to quickly.
We can do a time skip.
Time skip. That thing.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, let's have a quick break.
Part 2. Thank
part
you, everybody, and thank you again, Path, for being back up. I respect you so much. Thank you. All right,
yeah.
I'm gonna do that like stretch 2 as well. That sounds good. Okay,
Yeah.
back in a minute. Bye. Yeah, I'm back. I've not got my headphones in, so I can't hear anything. There we go.
You missed,
here.
You missed
I am
my
officially
stretching
here.
noises.
Okay, I will say we may have to wrap this up in half an hour because I
Yeah.
have got a hair appointment.
Yeah,
but
no, that's all
should
good.
be okay even with that. So.
Yeah. I think we'll be good for that.
Thank you.
Alrighty.
Right, let's get back to it.
Okay. Well, there is a time skip. Engineer and Wudlig, well, Wudlig mostly, you now have, well, you now have 2 fireballs in your house.
Yeah, baby. Where's the babies?
You notice that Cody is a lot more careful around things. They keep their distance from the all obviously flammable things. You notice that M1A has been out of their hamster ball more recently, and they haven't. They're probably a bit less careful than Cody, but
Okay.
But however, you notice that they seem to be in higher spirits. They seem to be going,
Oh, and I noticed that if you hold it, if there's a color flame, it makes this color shadow. And so if you do this, and if you pick up a marble and then you just put it right next to your head, it goes in a circle. Observation. Do you see how it goes in a circle around your head?
and just
Whoa.
telling Cody all these things that they've learned about being in flame
that's so
mode.
cute and so good.
So M1A is in much lighter spirits.
That's lovely. I mean, yeah, there was a sort of feeling guilty about keeping the secret from M1A for so long. On the other hand, like, they didn't want to disappoint them.
Yeah.
But, like, you know, if it wasn't even possible for them to do anything that was remotely safe, they didn't want to, you know, inflict that, which would be worse, arguably. So... anyway, Wudlig is making so many observations. Like, he's basically put all his other work on hold because he's like, this is very important.
Yeah.
This is huge, dude. I have 2 stars in my laboratory. Can you imagine? I would be freaking the fuck out. This guy certainly is. And also, this guy is obsessed with, like, his 2 biggest specialties are sound and light.
Yeah.
Oh my god! He has literally 2 stars in his office. What the fuck?
Yeah.
So yeah, he's every day is like he doesn't sleep much just because he's so excited to wake up and observe new things. So he's compiling so much data. Engineer is still pretty busy with other stuff. Like he has actually been making a film at the moment.
Ooh,
I can't run a game of it because I'm really fucking tired. But there will be a summary and maybe a follow-up of it, which, you know, I hope everybody appreciates. But he's also finishing the Sea Train, all sorts of things happening. But he does make time, definitely, to do tweaking these UFOs, which is so much easier now that they have, like, the spaceship that is in, like, piece, like in one piece for him to, like, take apart. He picked up the rubble from the explosion from M1A's and was trying to figure out what the fuck it was, and it was all these bent pieces, and it was like, is this actually from the spaceship, or was it just from the trash heap that we were fighting in?
Absolutely.
Oh, it was a nightmare. It was really hard, so this is so much easier,
There is one thing, is Engineer, like, kind of looking through Cody's ship right now?
Oh, definitely. You are the DM effectively for this, because this is your law. Yes, Engineer is absolutely doing that.
So, engineer, while you're like picking through and taking notes, you get up to one of Cody's wings, or what would essentially serve as their wings. And once you lift up the casing, you find something that you have actually seen before, a long time ago, back when you were essentially repairing Cody.
Yeah, I remember this.
So
If this is what I think it is.
So you find a little device, like a little strange device that doesn't really blend in or follow the rest of the mechanics inside of, like, that you've seen inside of Cody's ship. It looks quite different, actually.
I know what the fuck this is, you bitch!
Do you, though?
Not you, the thing!
And you notice, like, it's a little dinged up, it's a little wired, but more importantly, you notice there's 8 little light bulbs on it, 8 colored light bulbs, and you notice that one of them has been lit up.
Yeah. The little pink one? Yeah.
The little pink one, yeah. And you don't know what to make of it, because unfortunately both UFOs are I don't know if they're in your general vicinity.
Yeah, I don't know, like, he would probably take... If it's more narratively convenient for them not to be around, then yeah, sure, absolutely. He's taking, like, the stuff back to his workshop, which he would.
Yeah. I think in this case, actually, it probably would, but it also might stretch out things longer than they have to. But yeah, you inspect this a little bit. But yeah, it doesn't quite... Yeah, it doesn't belong there, but it looks very carefully... Well, it looks dinged up. It looks almost personalized.
Okay. Oh, maybe it's not what I thought the fuck it was. Again, like, I am steering blind here. I'm trying to guess what you actually want me to do.
Oh, no.
So if you would like me to figure out what this is now, I can, like, say the next day he brought it to Wudlig and is like, hey, what the fuck is this, to the aliens.
Yeah. Yeah, you can do that.
I feel like logically that is what would happen. So it's like, hey, what the heck is this? Anybody know what this is? Like, he's just kicked the door open again, and it's like, just learn to knock.
And you hear from upstairs, "Oh, engineer is here."
Yes, I am here. I am not being pinned to the wall by my very dear friend Wudlig for nearly breaking his door again. I'm sorry. Listen, old habits. Okay, I'm sorry. I'll fix the hinges.
And both both stars kind of just, like, they dart from downstairs. They dart down the stairs. And engineer, you're holding up this little device. Cody tilts their head in confusion, and M1A kind of freezes wide-eyed.
Oh, well, that looks like a reaction of recognition. Do you know what this is? That looks like a bad reaction. Should I throw it away? Is it going to explode?
No. Please, request, do not. It is...
And they look down. They look a little bit sheepish, actually.
It is it is... That is a data storage unit.
You mean like a hard drive?
Yes. Auxiliary data.
And they kind of look around. They go,
As Sentry, I would record audio and visual data, mostly audio data. I would record it in my ship. All that data now is, and they think a little bit, is either destroyed with the ship or, well, compromised. Given to the Great Machine. But this data, I did not know that sprockets collected data.
And Cody tilts their head and they go,
What? No, sprockets do not collect data.
and when they tilts their head and they say,
They do not? No. We are not Sentry. We are not. We were not made to observe or be the eyes of the Great Machine. We were not built for any of that. We were built for to spin and to work. Then, Mary, why do you have a data storage?
and
And why does it look
and they look sheepish.
why does it look so old?
Permission for Wudlig to have scuttled off to, like, plug this into some sort of computer monitor
Oh,
to see if we
absolutely.
can extract
Yeah.
something from it.
Yeah.
Yeah, this actually fits because Engineer, while he's good at the hard tech and cogs and steam power, and he's been working off the principle of an autoclave to basically safely contain them and also not completely deplete the energy and blah 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 blah. He wanted so badly to have steam power because, you got a fire that's burning, but he was like, you know what? Water plus electricity isn't such a great idea. So, alas,
unfortunately.
he pushed that to the side. Put his ego to the side and asked DJ Moves for a bit of help because space technology.
Awesome.
But this thing was like, I don't think anybody recognized this in the studio.
Yeah.
So, Wudlig goes ahead, plugs it in, and kicks the computer for a second just to, encourage it to work. That's like how Toon computers work, really.
Yeah.
Percussive maintenance.
There's something that does pop up. I need to find something for that.
You drew so much for this game.
Oh,
I drew one thing.
Oh no, hang on. Sorry, I need to dig around for something really quickly because
Take your time, buddy.
here it is. You over the is there with the you plug it into like a little console and it doesn't really do anything at first, but if you're holding it, you feel at the back 3 little buttons, and because the artist didn't have time to draw that,
We have the power of imagination. We've got more than enough art here.
Yeah.
You could have just said there's a thing with lights on it, and I would have been like, ooh, a thing with lights on it. But you drew it, so winner.
and you flip it over, and there's I won't be coy. There's a play button, a pause button, and a fast forward button.
Oh shit! Yeah, I mean, absolutely. This guy basically invented television, so yeah. He's gonna hit the play button.
And one of the pink light flashes again, and you hear this.
What the fuck? I'm gonna mute while I play it. Holy shit.
Okay, so you hear that tune, you hear that melody, but it's like someone is singing it. Someone you hear a voice singing it. And when they perks up and they go, "Oh, that is what Telefriend sang."
Ooh.
That's what Telefriend sang whenever we over at the sleepover when we found the and Cody blinks at that and they say, "And I recorded that?" Or, well, that recorded that? I do not remember. How do I record?
That's really interesting. Yeah. I mean, Wudlig and Engineer are just like, we're gonna let you guys talk about this because we don't know what's going on, but this is very interesting.
During the sleepover we had with Telefriend and Rap Friend, we came across a disc. We do not know, and when he's gonna roll hammer space really quickly.
Mm-hmm.
They take it out. It's basically so what you see in the video is basically what it looks like. It looks like a little floppy disk.
Yeah.
A little gold floppy disk.
Little floppy disk. Oh my gosh, that's so cute.
And
I feel like Wudlig may have seen something like this because it is the rule of Toon World that visuals just kind of are what they are.
Rad Friend said it was a floppy disk because that's what his dad. Oh, that's what Bob Friend said. It was.
Ah, yeah. And when they very first invented these things, they really were fluffy. they went wobble, wobble, wobble. It was very irritating. So then we came up with this hard version, which is much easier to use.
And when they kind of like...
This is...
Oh, sorry.
No, it's fine. He's basically just gesturing at it with slight, he's excited but bewildered, like, where the hell did this come from?
Yeah. Another thing that M1A has suddenly noticed. Oh, I need to put it back into him. They kind of wave it back and forth, a little disappointed that it's not flopping around, but it's there when they notice, and you notice this too, it's not catching on fire. It's not even melting.
Ooh. I mean, yeah, Engineer is immediately interested because, he's like, well, if that was actually gold, that would be a puddle by now. I don't know what type. Is this some sort of fusion of different metals? Is this even earth metal? It's probably not, looking at it. It doesn't smell like it.
I do not know what kind of metal it is. We found it in a crashed escape pod. Yes, a crashed escape pod near the neighborhood.
Okay, that is... I mean, this thing has levels. This is exciting as a discovery.
Can we get any more data off it? But come on, kick the computer again. That's always what you end up having to do.
Wudlig has been trying to, twiddle the knobs and try and find more levels in this thing, but he is actually going to reboot the computer, which is, re-kicking it.
What are you gonna do?
I mean, he's just trying to find if there's anything else on this, aside from the song, which in itself is lovely.
So you jiggle around the computer a little bit, what's this? Oh, yeah. And you hear a small, and then you hear something clip in, and you hear a small voice coming from the receiver, and it says, primary mission, unsuccessful. Secondary mission, successful. Learned about frequency, stubborn. Learned about Wudlig Doctor. Duke amazing. Charlie redacted. Will attempt primary mission tomorrow. I miss you. And when it kind of
Feelings.
covers their face, like, oh, that is very old.
That was your voice.
That was my... And Cody looks at M1A. That was your voice. That was a long time ago. That was last year. That is ancient. That is ancient. Do not listen to any more.
Wait. So you're telling me the sounds that we are hearing are effectively your memories? Or at least audio memories?
No, and M1A shakes their head. No, when Cody was very damaged, I would report back to Cody when I completed my survey, whenever I completed my mission of the area. Before...
Oh, and that was when Cody was still, not very well.
No, Cody wasn't conscious half the time. Cody was not functional. Cody was...
So this thing is recording without you knowing that it's there or without your permission? That sounds dodgy as all hell.
And Cody frowns, and they go, yes, it appears so. I don't know the circumstances of recording. But I do not want... And they poke at the small mechanism. I want to know why it is here. Because...
Hey, I'd like to know that too.
And why it was placed inside my ship. But maybe...
If I may postulate a theory.
They look. They look at you.
Well, considering how you are remotely, this is M1A I'm talking to, you are remotely controlled and spoken through at one point. This implies that there is some fascinatingly powerful way to connect you to this great machine over a vast distance. It is possible, even though you were not told that you were for observation, that you were being used for observation by the same.
And Cody kind of looks down at this device, and they go... They frown at the idea of the great machine observing them still.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's looking at this thing with any affection right now.
Nope. But I'm gonna do a quick roll. But I'll make sure to see if I can wrap this up pretty quick.
Yeah, like 15 minutes tops. I'll be able to manage 15.
Yeah. Oh, it's not letting. I'll just roll d20.
Yeah.
They squint at it and they go, observation. Nothing from the great machine was this battered.
So you are thinking that this is not of the great machine. It could be from someone else, someone older?
And Cody kind of, they frown. I do not know, but I think
I don't know what to do with it, but I do want to hold on to it. But maybe, and they frown a little bit, maybe not inside my ship.
I would recommend against that, but I have been puzzling over this great machine because I have met Toons who are sentient machines, and in fact, many of my machines, after you've spent enough time and love with them, they definitely become their own people. However, I have not met many, if I will be honest, any that made themselves. So I've been tending to wonder if somebody made yon great machine, and if so, who?
And Emone and Cody look at each other, and they frown a little bit. Emone says,
We don't know. We were never told.
and
That
they
somehow does not surprise me.
and they look over at Cody and they say,
Cody would be the only one who would have any idea, and they wouldn't know.
Wait, why would Cody know?
and Cody scratches their head and they say,
Because I am the oldest spark in the Great Machine.
Yeah, what?
Cody they frown and they say,
I was told that I was the first manufactured of our current.
Well, considering we have found out that you're a star, I don't think you were manufactured. If you were, then there is a way to make stars, and my head is having to process that now. Yeah.
and Cody says,
That does not make sense, does it? But I've been told. But I am the oldest among the sparks of the Great Machine. So if there's anything that happens,
Mud feel bad about this.
so if there's anything that happened before I was manufactured, then I don't know what it is.
Well, this may run more investigation. I am afraid it may take more time. But considering we are here and we have a small amount of time, would you like to try on one of these little spaceships? We've made some adjustments. I think you might like this one.
Cody perks up at this and they go, and they look down at the device, and they gingerly place it into their hammer space.
Okay.
And they go,
I mean, I will say, like, these two would have offered to take it, but, like, this is very much something to do with Cody, so it's Cody's decision.
yeah, Cody is not done with it. Cody is curious.
Understandable.
But the fireballs both look over and they go, is there a tarp?
I feel like maybe this time it's a little more classy because, like, they've actually been able to refine these and make them with the technology that they know is more compatible to the stars. So they've actually got a nice sort of shiny silk thing.
Oh, fancy.
One suspect it was a cloak or a cape from one of Engineer's early films. You know, he was in the Mask of Zorro or whatever the fuck I called it. Rozzo, that's it.
Yeah.
And yes, it is revealed. And you can reveal it to be whatever you want it to be. I have no idea what it looks like this time.
Well, I have art. I have art.
You've got so much art.
Well, I was preparing. And
you sure were.
oh, I put them in the wrong chat, but who cares?
It's fine. I can still see it. It's all good. Oh, oh my god, it's the coolest shit. Ah! Oh man, that's so awesome. I mean, like, I feel like both of them are very proud of having made this.
When they go into their ships, initially there's a little bit of like, I guess it's the equivalent of putting on something new and like breaking it in a little bit, like
Yeah.
adjusting yourself to get comfortable. But they both float up. Their flames vanish, but the vibrancy of them is reflected in their lights and in the new colors of their ships.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Wudlig is just clapping like, you look so good. Does it feel good?
M1A spins around a little bit in their winged form, and they go,
Oh, it's lighter. It is lighter. Cody, is it? How do you feel? Is it lighter?
and Cody like stretches out a little bit, and they go,
Oh, I feel a little bit more balanced. It is hard to control your flight whenever you are a fireball. Yes, I have noticed that too.
Engineer is just sort of doing his walking around from all different sides, checking that, things are working how they should. But he's also like, he's grinning, and he sort of like whispers to Wudlig something along the line. I told you the projector system would work. I told you. And Wudlig is like, all right. Yes, you can be smug about it, okay.
but yeah, no, they M1A comments,
Oh, it feels different, but good. It feels good.
Change can be very good. I am so thrilled. You look so nice. Oh, but obviously, this is a long-term project. You just keep wearing it and see how you feel. Get out of it. If it's not working for you, just give us feedback. We'll keep on improving it as much as we can.
And M1A is a little bit too busy zipping around to really listen, but they come back to you, engineer, and they bonk their head on your snout, and they continue flying around in glee.
Love is stored in the bunk. Oh, my heart.
Yeah, real grandpa moment here, like just like he's so pleased.
And you watch...
for a moment there's a third sun. There's a third star glowing in the laboratory, but he's not as vibrant as you guys. Like, you guys are shining something. Yes, it's amazing.
And you hear the excited ramblings of M1A, and in the background, and Cody zigzags down to you, Wudlig, and gives you a quick squeeze around the arm, and then they're new to this. I don't know, but it's
Wudlig makes the squeaky toy noise, like that's the tradition for being Squo's hug. But like he's also like, I was missing your arms too.
I missed arms very much. I can use them now.
And you two watch as two UFOs zip around the household with excited chatter, zipping around and trying out their new ships. As we pan out and pan out through the window and up towards over Waddleton.
Yeah. Good shit. This was very cute and satisfying. I would like to stay and gush about it, but
please.
I must go and eat and then get my hair cut because I don't want to be late.
Yeah.
Oh, this was lovely. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, and thank you for all this art. I am shook, babe. That's.
I was
so many good drawings.
I was
So impressed. Wow.
just like, it's gotta be
Well, thank you
ships.
for letting me be a part of it. Thank you for putting up with me jumbling up my words and accents.
No, same here. I was like, oh god, I need to need to remember the lore.
Your babies are so cute and complicated. Oh,
Yeah.
I love it though.
Okay, right. I'm a outie. This was great. I hope everybody enjoyed listening to it as much as I enjoyed playing it.
Yes, definitely. Thank you all for listening, and we'll
Thank you.
catch you next time. Take care.
Yay. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.